With us about to play the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow, and arguably a really, really good test for our defense, who's going against Carson Wentz. Now, obviously, no game in the NFL is a gimme, right? At the end of the day, every single NFL game is going to be tough no matter what, because that's why it's an NFL game, okay? It's not college, it's football. There's no gimmies. It's not like you're the number one ranked college team in the country going against a Division III school. But it's definitely going to be a lot easier having Carson Wentz at quarterback and having the injuries that the Vikings have. So my question is, where are we ranked defensively? So for total yards given up in 2 games, keep in mind the Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills have already played. So they technically count as 3 games, even though everyone else has only played 2. So let's, again, disregard Buffalo, disregard Miami. The Giants are currently the worst defense at the most given up yards in the NFL. And we're looking at all these categories today. Number 2 worst is the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. They did play against the Bills, and then they played against the Brownies. Number 3 worst is the Dallas Cowboys. 4th worst is the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I still will say this is why I think this is our year, because the Steelers simply do not look good. Chicago is number 5. Tennessee's number 6. 7th is the Patriots, and 8th is the Bengals. So that would rank us, at roughly 24th in the league for the most yards allowed, which, to be honest, obviously Joe Flacco had himself a field day with our defense when it came to yards allowed. But last week against Jacksonville, we looked a lot better. And throughout the year, I think we're going to look a lot better as well. Cleveland has the best defense, even though they gave up 400 yards last week to Lamar Jackson, right? But yards allowed, they are by far the lowest. 383 yards allowed in 2 games. Yards per game, 191.5. Passing yards, Falcons actually give up the least amount. I think it's because they played the Vikings last week. And the Vikings, no joke, the Vikings absolutely were awful with J.J. McCarthy. Who gives it the most passing yards? We are 1, 2, okay, again, disregard Dolphins and Bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 27th in passing yards allowed. Most passing yards. For the most per game, the Patriots are number 1. Worst. And then it goes Ravens, Cowboys, Giants, Bengals. Yeah. Rushing yards, rushing defense, we're currently right here. So, again, we're not Cleveland, which Cleveland just has an amazing freaking defense across the board. Which I'm, again, beyond happy that we beat them week 1. And we don't play them again until week 18. So, that's a win in Cleveland where you look back and you're like, that's what sets you up for success long term. Packers are number 2, which is weird because I heard Micah Parsons wasn't good at run defense. Who's the worst? Okay, again, Bills, Dolphins, disregard. Giants at 355 yards allowed so far. Yards per game, 45.5 for Cleveland. We give up on average 94 yards per game. Which, okay. Again, this is why metrics are always weird when you only have 2 games, because one big game given up is going to mess up all the metrics. It's why the Ravens are so very poor in this situation, is that exact same reason. Points per game, we are currently at 43. Right down here. Obviously, Chicago's at 79. That's points given up total, excuse me. Points per game, we're at 21.5. So, which again, 2-0 currently. Now, I don't want to look at our offense and where our offense ranks, because I'll be honest with you, this is painful. Our offense has been very bad this year so far. Are we the worst offense in the league? We're not the worst, actually. The Ravens are actually somehow worse than us. But we're at 397. That seems about right. Yards per game. We are currently at 198. Okay. Keep forgetting there's worse offenses out there than us. Which, again, for the first 2 weeks, it was just a mess. The offensive line sucked. Everything sucked. And that's 198 yards per game. Rushing yards is where we really suck. And we are dead last in rushing yards at 94 total for the year. For example, Jacksonville's at 339, and we just played Jacksonville. Yards per game, we're dead last at 47. Points per game, we are actually currently at 48. So, Ravens are at 81. Again, they played Buffalo. And the Ravens, I think, they scored like 40 points in the last 2 games, like combined. Like, each game, they scored 40 some odd points. So, that definitely helps out a lot. 102 points for Buffalo. And then again, disregard Buffalo. 81 for the Ravens. So, listen, at the end of the day, obviously we're early in the season, right? There's a very small sample size here. But I did want to take a look at this for one given reason. And I want to look back at this later in the season and see where we're at, right? So, obviously, this is our starting point on this season and where we're at. And we're going to see throughout the season where we're, going. So, right now, we're in week 3. We're going to do this video again in, let's say, week 9. Let's do this video again week 9. We'll do the video again week 15. And then we'll look at it the final week of the season. Kind of get a general gist of where we're at. But see you guys next one.